All right, what do we have first? How can ChatGPT make me money? ChatGPT is probably good for coming up with funny tweets. If you have a nice dialogue with ChatGPT, you can probably tweet a screenshot of your dialogue and it will get you followers. Are large language models sentient? No, I wouldn't say large language models are sentient, at least not in the sense that we think of ourselves or other animals as sentient. You can sort of think of a large language model as like representing some aggregate average of all of the opinions about pretty much any topic that have been expressed on the internet, but the model itself doesn't really have its own personality yet. Just kidding. Are chatbots safe? But there are very real concerns about chatbots and technologies like ChatGPT and GPT-4 that are really important. Questions about bias. These models pick up a lot of things from what they read on the internet, and if you've spent any time on the internet, you might have some ideas why that could be problematic. Some people worry about if we'll be able to adequately specify to these models the types of behaviors we do and don't want from them as they become more and more powerful. Keep going. Okay. If AI continues to grow rapidly, what things might we see it do in the near future? Whew. I wouldn't be surprised if these models do meaningfully impact the way that the majority of people do their jobs on a daily basis. That could be knowledge workers who spend a lot of time maybe writing emails or messages or doing sort of data manipulation types of tasks. GPT-4, the latest model, actually can see visual inputs as part of what the model can take as its input. All right, does ChatGPT make Google obsolete? Although ChatGPT superficially seems like it does a lot of the things that traditional search engines like Google do for us, it answers our questions and finds us information, these models aren't really reliable enough to be full replacements for using a traditional search engine where we can see all of the sources of the information. Google has its own, what we can think of as kind of ChatGPT competitor, which is called Bard. It kind of remains to be seen what the capabilities of that model are going to be compared to ChatGPT, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see sort of how much diversity in these large models we see as more and more companies start to build their own. Are they going to sort of converge into some sort of monoculture of AI systems where they all are pretty much interchangeable and act the same way? Or are we going to see a really big spread of model behaviors and sort of personalities? Should I be afraid it's going to take my job? Right now, ChatGPT is not going to just be dropped in as a replacement for humans. But I think it is important to think about what are the skills that you have and what are your sort of comparative advantages. And it's possible that these models will at least impact the way you go about your work significantly in the near future. And so maybe some of the tasks at work that you spend a relatively large portion of your time doing, maybe things that are writing maybe design documents or sending emails or doing data entry, maybe you won't have to spend so much of your time doing these things in the future. Can ChatGPT play chess? Sort of. ChatGPT can write chess notation, so it can take a position of the board and give you back a move. But there are some pretty funny memes of people doing this with ChatGPT where they actually show the game and the sequence of moves that ChatGPT picks. The moves are not even legal a lot of the time, but it does make for, again, really interesting Twitter content to watch a human play ChatGPT in chess. All right, our last one. Why is it so bad at getting easy things like getting references right? One thing that's sort of funny about AI is sometimes it feels like it gets the hard stuff right and the easy stuff wrong. And one of the things that might be the easy things that it gets wrong is getting references right or misquoting things that it reads. The reason that these models tend to get these references wrong is most of them don't have access to the internet at all, and so they're just recalling from their memory. Keep in mind that these models are mostly just being trained to generate text that sounds plausible, and so from the model's perspective, a reference that's right and a reference that's wrong might not seem so different in terms of how plausible it seems. So those were all of the internet's questions about ChatGPT. I hope people learned at least a thing or two about this, and I think it's great that people are thinking about these questions. There are some really, really important ones in there about, are these models biased? Are they reliable enough to use in practice? What are some of the dangers of them? It's an exciting time. I'm glad people are interested in these models. I hope people keep playing with them and figuring out how they can be useful for them. Thanks a lot for joining us.